One of the greatest strengths of colleges and universities are the diverse groups of people that come together in a single space to create their communities. The person sitting in class with you, the person going past you in the parking lot, or the person across the dining center from you. All come to the same space with their own lived experiences and perspectives of the world. Families, neighborhoods, religions, and other components of culture all contribute to shaping each person into who they are.
One of the reasons why college is such a great place, especially at public schools, is that you're exposed to people who are not like you.
As a teacher, I only see one small aspect of a student's life. There's a whole lot of context that I don't get to see. But that context is oftentimes what's preventing the student from academic success.
So I've just always been really sensitized to that we're teaching a whole human being.
As a grad student, I feel like a lot of my peers and myself included, we have a lot on our plate. And as a result, we are increasingly isolated. My culture is a protective factor for me because I'm never really alone.
Like you, everyone has a unique set of intersecting identities, and research shows these factors can impact the quality of a person's mental health and other areas of well-being. Our cultural identities influence our beliefs, our day-to-day experiences of the world, and how the world responds to us. As we move through this module, we'll discuss ways in which cultural identity is important to consider in relation to suicide prevention. While anyone can experience suicidal ideation, some people are at a greater risk than others. We'll highlight ways in which people from some communities are more likely to be exposed to negative circumstances or social conditions and what this can mean for their risk of suicide. Also, as we talk about people from different groups, it's important to keep in mind that we're describing trends in experiences, not hard and fast rules or facts that are true about every single person from a particular group. Culture is informative, but it is not prescriptive. Each individual is their own person with their own unique set of circumstances. While some things can act as risk factors for suicide, many things can act like a shield and protect against suicide. People, places, or characteristics within an environment that provide a strong sense of belonging or support serve as suicide prevention. Additionally, shared traditions, history, and a sense of collective future can also aid in preventing suicide. For example, being an active member of a religious community or athletic team or engaging in activities that build community around you have been shown to help reduce isolation and prevent suicidal thoughts and behaviors. Similarly, research has found that familismo, a Latine cultural value of family closeness, can be a protective factor for young adults, particularly in buffering against perceived discrimination and suicidal thoughts. Hence, culture can be a powerful source of resilience. Emphasizing the strengths and values of community and culture provides a sturdy foundation for suicide prevention. While some experiences related to cultural identity can decrease a person's risk for suicide, other experiences can increase the risk for suicide, and it's important to be aware of what these are. Examples of factors that can increase risk for suicide include gender-based norms that can limit reaching out for support, such as pressure for men to deny emotional experiences like sadness to avoid being perceived as weak. Family and social conflict, isolation, socioeconomic disadvantage, such as lower levels of education or income, discrimination, the unfair or prejudicial treatments of someone based on the groups that they belong to, and acculturation, a process of changing to become more like people from a different cultural group. The effects of these experiences can be cumulative or build upon one another. Those contending with discrimination or harassment based on their identities tend to experience increased mental health difficulties, such as depression, alcohol or other substance misuse, post-traumatic stress disorder, and experiences of suicidal thoughts or behaviors. Let's take a look at a few examples. People of color who experience discrimination, racism, and acculturation report higher rates of suicidal thoughts compared to those without these types of experiences. Discrimination has serious negative impacts on a person's physical and mental health, and research shows a clear link between experiences of discrimination and stress, anxiety, and depression. LGBTQIA+ folks, people who identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, intersex, and asexual also face unique challenges in their lives. A common difficulty they face is the coming out process, which can result in losing the support of their family. LGBTQIA+ folks are often exposed to harassment in their everyday life, as well as the stress associated with hiding their identity to keep themselves safe from harassment. Lack of support and discrimination for LGBTQIA+ folks are associated with higher rates of suicide attempts. Another example includes people with disabilities who have been found to be more likely to report experiencing circumstances such as feeling like a burden to others, loneliness, isolation, and stigma. Studies suggest that people with disabilities have significantly higher rates of suicidal thoughts and behaviors in comparison to people without a disability. People from marginalized communities experience discrimination throughout their lives, including while they're on campus. In the examples above, we spoke about a single identity in each person. In reality, people have multiple identities. People with multiple marginalized identities may experience discrimination from different sources aimed at more than one aspect of their identity, which further contributes to feelings of stress while at college. Along with risk factors, social conditions can also affect if or how help is sought. If help has not been easily accessible in the past, people might not know what resources are available to them or even how to find them. We may know where students can find help, but students who have not had the same opportunities as us may not be aware of what is available to them. Students come to campus with unique needs, and it is important to know the resources available to them. By being aware of and sharing with others the resources in your community, you can reduce a barrier to accessing these resources. Professor Gaunt highlights the importance of community when engaging with her students.
In the middle of the semester, I usually report or do a survey about mental health, who's struggling with food security, I'm making transparent what's in the room without singling people out.
It is not possible to know everything about a person's life. We only know people in the specific context of campus and within our specific roles, whether that be as a friend, colleague, or instructor. Like you, people have so much more going on in their lives beyond the walls of their campus, and it is important to be aware of that and the assumptions that we might make based off our brief observations. Misattributing behavior, such as zoning out in a meeting, to not caring or falling asleep in class, to laziness or disinterest, fails to recognize possible contextual elements at play. When you recognize situations where there is a noticeable shift in someone's normal self, or in which they seem to be falling short of what's expected of them, meet the person with curiosity and kindness. Being observant, open, and approachable can help decrease a person's risk for self-harm or suicide.
Dreams come true in teams. And the lone wolf dies, and the pack survives. So stay with the herd. You gotta let me help you, and you gotta help me. Community is our human, inheritance. That's how we survived. If you're still here, that's how you survived, because somebody helped you, including when you were a baby, but even as an adult. Community is how we thrive.
A way I understand this as a queer Chicana is honoring and respecting that where I am today is a direct result, honestly, of everyone that came before me and helped cultivate who I am. But also as a human, we are meant to survive. And the people that came before me informed my values, which helps to create meaning and understanding when we experience hardship.
There is no way to be a cultural expert, and one should not try to be, because assuming we know everything there is to know will inevitably fall short of understanding life through an individual person's lens. At the same time, being aware of how cultural identities impact the lives of the people around us allows us to be more responsive to those in need. It is important to remember that cultural identity can be a protective factor and contribute to rich experiences of belonging and support. At the same time, cultural identity can be linked to negative social circumstances that compound each other and increase a person's risk for mental health conditions and suicidal thoughts and behaviors. It is important that we be aware of risk and protective factors, and that we be curious before jumping to conclusions about someone's actions. You've learned that building strong relationships is the best way to help others. Culture is individualized. You may not be a cultural expert for everyone's experiences, but you can be aware of when a person's attitude and behaviors have changed. This awareness of others will help you be sensitive to a person's circumstances, and in turn, will make you more approachable, meaning that people may be more likely to reach out to you for help if they need it. The earlier and faster people seek help, the faster they can begin to heal, and the less likely they may be to engage in suicidal thoughts and behaviors. This concludes Module 4.